Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
And let's talk about what lesbians have found.
Let's hang out.
And let's listen to 2 lesbians shout.
Let's hang out.
Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise, and we want to let you all know about some of our events coming up on February 18th and February 20th. We have 2 versions of She-Ra Trivia for all of you. You can check those out on our Facebook and our Eventbrite page. We are so excited because we have been nominated for a Queer Tea Award, which is incredible. We are up on the lineup with some other incredible podcasts, and we're just absolutely floored to have been considered.
We are so grateful for all the support so far, and we want to remind everyone that you can vote for the Queer Teas. Voting is open until February 16th. You can vote once a day per device, which means you could vote from your phone, your laptop, your work computer, your girlfriend's phone. Just some ideas we're throwing out there.
Go to the library, every computer at the library. I don't know, anything, whatever you want to do. I know I was saying earlier, we're so grateful to be considered, but also I want to win. Let's do it.
It would be incredible as a small indie show. We're up nominated with some really awesome network-backed shows, so it is an honor. It would be really fun to win. Either way, we're just so excited. So thank you all so much. Everyone who's been listening, everyone who has been with us since the beginning or since this week. It's been a really great journey.
It has been quite a ride.
Couldn't do it without you all.
Vote.
We also have to talk about some of the things in the greater Les universe, because there's been a lot going on lately. First, we saw a lot of you notice at the inauguration that Kamala Harris has a stepdaughter. Ella Emhoff.
Of a certain persuasion, do we think?
Of a certain persuasion, we believe.
Family?
Yes, we've got some fam in the White House. One of us. So that was fun. Honestly, I was here for all of the inauguration content because I just love watching queers thirst over
anyone.
Like Michelle Obama and everyone else who was up there. It was great.
Michelle Obama's arms every day, all day. What? Who thirsts over that? Not me.
Not anyone that we know.
No.
Also, look, I spend too much time on Twitter. I've been seeing a lot of more of the Russ Mello hashtag showing up. I can't even tell if the show is still running now or not. I'm not positive what's happening. All I know is people keep posting these clips. I've never watched Big Brother. I don't speak Italian, but apparently there's some like potentially less than platonic queer happenings in the Big Brother Italian house happening.
And we're always here for less than platonic queer happenings, so.
Look, we're also always here for, like, reality TV going gay, honestly, I think is what it is. Always.
Also, we talked about this a little bit before, but Batwoman Season 2 has finally come out, and we are so, so happy to see our new Batwoman.
Look, I love Ryan and her plant. That's all I know, okay? There's a soft spot in my heart. I'm super excited to see where they're going this season. I love her. I love her already. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 58th installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, it's not called gymnastics, everyone.
It is not. And today, we are joined by a very special guest, Natasha Negovanlis, Canadian Screen Award-winning actor based out of Toronto, best known for her role as Carmilla in the hit web series and feature film, and host of the new podcast, Vanless Presents. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Oh my gosh, thanks so much for having me and giving me a reason to put on deodorant. I weirdly put on deodorant for this Zoom call. I don't know why, but
we can tell and we appreciate it.
I smell great.
You smell amazing.
Haven't washed my hair in 3 days, but that's what toques are for, or beanies for any Americans listening.
Yeah, I was like, what is a toque?
Yeah, this is a toque.
I love it. Yeah.
A beanie.
That is why queer people have beanies, right? That's the only reason.
It's pretty confusing in Canada, though, because I feel like just most women in general dress like a stereotype of a queer woman. Like, we are all about the plaid. I feel like even all of my straight friends are like very badass. They're like drummers who ride motorcycles and play softball, and it's very confusing. And they all wear beanies and like plaid, and we all wear, like hiking boots.
I don't know if I would survive in that society. I'd be so confused.
Also, I feel like you're highlighting a really important, like, quarantine perk of being queer, which is that, like, we can really get away with wearing beanies indoors at all times in a way that, like, I don't think everyone else can. Like, if your coworker, like, your straight coworker just hadn't showered in 3 days, you know? Like, it might be a little sus if they hop on a call like that. But for us, we're like, yeah, you got a look, you got a vibe going, it's good.
Unless they're Canadian. Then it's okay.
Then we're screwed.
Beanies all the time. Toques all the time.
Well, we're very, very excited you're joining us today. And we have a very special movie that we're doing today that we've been waiting for a long time. This has been on our list probably since we started the podcast. And we've just been waiting for the right time. And it feels like the right time to talk about Stick It. So let's do this.
It is that time. Look, we're 10 months into quarantine. We need something good, okay? We need something happy in our lives. So we're breaking out Stick It. The one, the only, the 2006 classic, Stick It.
Are you ready for our IMDb synopsis, Lee? I want to hear it.
I'm never ready for them. For anyone who's not familiar with the film, our IMDb synopsis is as follows. After a run-in with the law, Haley Graham is forced to return to the world from which she fled some years ago. Enrolled in an elite gymnastics program run by the legendary Burt Vickerman, Haley's rebellious attitude gives way to something that just might be called team spirit.
Wow. What a synopsis. Also, I think one of the longest IMDb synopses we've had in a really long time.
They're usually like one sentence, and everything in the sentence is wrong. So
yeah, but this one
it's
sort of makes
closer.
sense. Yeah, I'm curious, Natasha. We're gonna put you on the spot, and you're gonna start us off. What's your gay synopsis of this film?
Oh, okay. Closeted, queer, ex-gymnast gets in trouble and is forced to do some gymnastics with a creepy old man and a bunch of possibly closeted queer ladies.
Yeah.
Valid.
Every part of that is correct. I don't know about the closeted part. For me, I was saying known homosexual Haley Graham is forced to also, I didn't really I focus on the end because that was, I think, the biggest gay climax for me. Haley Graham is forced
Wow, we're going there already, Ellie?
to confront her ex, Trisha, after leaving her during the biggest moment of her life. Oh, and they do gymnastics.
I love
boy,
that.
we are gonna have some thoughts about her and Trisha, aren't we?
I love her and Trisha.
I went a slightly different way with my gay synopsis. So
all right, let's go.
My gay synopsis is Haley Graham has never met a shirt or a boy that she wants near her body, and personally, I applaud her for it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going for.
I like it.
Not a lot of shirts in this movie. That's all I'm saying.
There's a lot to talk about with the outfits in this film.
Well, and also the removing of them, because
I mean, the first
girl strips a lot.
I'm like, I know we're supposed to talk about our experience, but my experience was that scene where she takes off all of her clothes and she's running is forever burned in my memory.
Really? It's that scene? It's not the ice bath for you?
Oh, the
It's the
ice
stripping.
bath as well. God damn it. There's so many. Natasha, what was your experience with the movie Stick It? When was the first time you saw it?
Last week when it was suggested.
Yes.
I know. And I don't know why. Like, this came out in 2006. What would I have been watching instead in 2006? Well, I have to say, first of all, the soundtrack was very nostalgic for me because it was everything I was listening to from like 2000 to 2006. So that was awesome. And all of Haley's outfits, her characters, I mean, I was absolutely wearing the exact same thing. The little bands on the arm, it was very Avril Lavigne, you see? And this is what I'm talking about because Avril Lavigne, presumably straight. It's very confusing up here in Canada. But anyway, we were wearing those outfits for sure. And I wasn't doing the biking, but I was definitely doing the skateboarding. So yeah, that was very nostalgic for me. I never saw it though. And I don't know why. I mean, I was also in music theater school at that time. I was pretty, I guess, I was in the music world of what intense gymnastics would be. I was doing vocal gymnastics. Yeah, so I was too busy. I was shielded from the outside world, so I hadn't heard of the movie. But I chose this one out of the list of listener requests because it does star my fellow Canadians.
Okay, but now we gotta know though, is theater school vocal gymnastics as gay as gymnastics is in this movie?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I think like more so on the male side, but it was pretty open. Yeah, it was like, it was cooler. But back then, you know what? I actually talked to my high school's Gay Straight Alliance a few years ago, but now they call it the Gender and Sexual Diversity Club, which I love that. And it's so much better because I remember as in 2006, I identified as bi and I wasn't part of the GSA because I was like, well, I'm not gay or straight, so I don't understand. And like, when I heard the announcement about like the club meetings, I was like, well, that's not for me. Yeah, it was so nice to hear that things have changed, but I digress. Was it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, in music theater school for sure. On the male side, there definitely it was. Yeah, I'd say a good 80%.
I can understand that.
Very queer.
I think there's a fluidity in the theater, for sure.
Do you need me to say it, Ellie, as we talk about my experience?
What?
It's season 4. I hadn't seen it. I'm gonna have like an angry mob outside my house by the end of this season. We're in the 4th season of the podcast, Natasha, and apparently this year all we're doing is every movie that I haven't seen that I am like deeply, deeply ashamed of because they're all gay classics and I hadn't seen it either. And again, I don't know what I was doing. We just did Ice Princess too, and that came out like right around the same time, and I hadn't seen that too.
What were you doing? Were you watching any films?
That is a great question to which I apparently have no answer. Although, look, one thing I will say in my defense is 2006 was the year that like my high school into college like relationship was ending, and then I think right at the beginning of 2007 is when Kelsey and I started dating. So I did have like some messy lesbian relationship drama stuff happening. Okay, that's all.
I feel like Stick It's a good breakup movie. I don't know. Because
I was distracted is my point.
When you talk about your experience, so I had seen it before, but to be honest, I remembered nothing. Like,
did you black out the first time?
I don't know. Until, as you're saying, the ice bath. When the ice bath happened, I had a visceral reaction to it this time watching it. Like, I was like, this scene has played in my mind constantly, and I couldn't remember what it was from. But now, yeah, that ice bath scene.
Did we find your root, Ellie? Is it this?
Yeah, the ice bath scene is my root.
Yeah, I will say it's difficult to remember any plot points. It is like a very... what would the word be? Like, it's underdeveloped in terms of like the plot and characters, I will say. But obviously, yeah, the visuals are quite distracting.
Yes. Yes. No, because I watched it, and I do feel like, because I always take notes on all of our things to be like, okay, what can I talk about that's gay? I agree in terms of the plot, like there was not a lot to write down. I was like, what actually happened in this film from the minute she went to the gymnastics boot camp and then competed. Like nothing really happened, but just she was hot and we were watching it.
Yeah.
And we were watching it. It's more of a vibe, right? Like, I considered for a while saying that, like, that my gay synopsis for this movie was gonna just be, like, this movie made everyone who watched it gay. Because I think that's a legit takeaway from this film. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you look at, like, you know, our age group, our demographic, this probably is a lot of girls' roots, right?
Yes.
That first scene with the stripping, the ice bath scene for sure, but also just in a general sense, like the movie, like one of my commentaries, forget the plot. All I want to know is like,
plot, yes.
Forget what plot? We don't worry too much about plots around here.
No.
What I want to know is who is the blessed lesbian who did her wardrobe in this movie, right? Because, like, every outfit is gayer than the last. Like, everything she wears, start to finish. I mean, the gymnastics outfits notwithstanding all the time, but it just, like...
What was your favorite outfit?
I mean, I'm not against the ice bath outfit.
Is the ice bath an outfit? Like, she's not really wearing that much.
It's a sports bra and some tiny little shorts. That's an outfit.
Okay, yeah, that's an outfit.
That's a gay outfit.
Yeah.
Come on. You're telling me if we went to, like, a queer convention right now, you wouldn't see somebody walking around in that outfit?
Cosplaying as the ice bath scene.
Oh my god. Can you imagine if someone, like, made a little bathtub outfit for themselves and then, like, cosplay? Somebody do this for us, please. Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah, you could hold it up with suspenders and then...
Right? Yes.
I mean, if you were really tough, you could go with real ice. I'd probably just use, like, bubble wrap or something. But...
Can you imagine just walking around a convention in real ice? Like, I mean, it'd also be very messy because at a certain point, it's all going to melt.
But the dedication, Ellie, the dedication.
The dedication would be really impressive. I'm just visualizing that so clearly. It's beautiful. Natasha, what was your favorite gay outfit?
Oh, I would have to say, actually, just the very first one when she's on the bike. It's such a classic, like, early 2000s reveal where, like, she pulls down the hood and, like, pulls her hair out, like, slowly out of her ponytail. And it's just like, she's been a girl this whole time. Because at first it's like you're trying to trick you into thinking that it's, like, a bunch of guys on their bikes.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then just, like, the slow ponytail reveal was quite special.
That first thing was so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, such a 2000s move of like, oh, this girl is a boy. And you're like, okay, like, couldn't you just have had her be like, we knew she was a girl from the beginning, but also that scene is amazing.
It's amazing, but it's funny to me when you watch things like this now, 14 years later, right? Because you look at, like, that aesthetic as, like, an early aughts aesthetic as well would be so different now, right? Like, can you imagine if you were dressing someone in that same outfit now in 2020 with, like, the aesthetics that we have? And I'm like, there is no way that the character of Haley would not, A, be, like, 100% gay, and B, like, definitely a queer fuckboy, right? Like, she would have the short hair, the crotch. It would be like a very different look for her.
She reminded me of, like, a lot of gay influencers and YouTubers, though, who have long hair with the sort of, like, tan and, like,
true.
the beachiness of it.
But the attitude, right? Like, the attitude gives me the fuckboy vibes. I don't know.
No, she definitely was. But I would dare say most of the fuckboys I know, and that's a gender-neutral term, they got the long hair. I don't know.
It's
you don't have to have a shaved head to be a fuckboy, Lee.
No, I know you don't. I'm just saying that, like, the aesthetic is different now, you know? Like, I feel like you can't get away with that as, like, oh, she's just straight and misunderstood the way that they kept trying to do it then.
Well, yeah.
I actually really, really, like, I know this whole thing is called Should Have Been Gay. I really don't think they tried to make her straight. They didn't, which actually I loved. Because a lot of the movies that we watch were like, oh, there's a random male love interest, and he's so random that we're like, why is he here? She doesn't have...
The brother.
She doesn't have a male love interest. I would argue she does have a love interest, but I'm just saying, like, she doesn't have a love interest. So they're not actually forcing her heteronormativity on her.
Yeah, which I did think was really cool. That's the only reason why I was like, oh, the synopsis is she's closeted, because I was like, they never really mention that she is, even though it's just very, very, very obvious. But I definitely feel like everyone on the gymnastics team is at least curious. They're at least curious.
Well, and Haley is like the catalyst for their curiosity.
Oh,
like when she walks in, all of the girls like in the gym are like, who is this girl and why do we love her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who is this girl and what are these feelings I'm having? What is this tingly feeling that I have suddenly discovered?
Let's talk a little bit about the other girls in the gym. So what do we think of Joanne?
Oh, poor sweet Joanne. What I think about Joanne is I think she has a lot of misplaced feelings for boys.
We don't ship her and... Is it her and Poot? Is that his name?
Her and Poot, yeah.
Poot.
Poor Poot. Well, I can't ship her with Poot because I ship Poot with Frank. It's just, it gets right in the way. No, I feel like Joanne is just a little sheltered still, you know? Like, you can tell she hasn't had a lot of chance to explore the world. She's clearly very fixated on Haley for reasons she might, maybe hasn't figured out herself yet. That's where the vibe I get off of her, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely a very classic, like, I'm mean to you because I have a crush on you type situation.
Oh, yeah.
And I also see her as like, she's like a bit of a femme dom, like when she just asks Poot out, she doesn't even ask him out to prom. She just like, when she's just like, you're going to prom with me. And he's also like wearing a dress. I do have to say, I really liked that the male characters in this, like when they're hanging out with the girls at the mall and they put on makeup and dresses and stuff, it's not like in a way that's done comedically or like, oh, look at me, I'm being so silly. It was just like very casual. And I was like, hey, you know what? Cool. That's really cool.
Yes.
I love the scene. The dressing up scene I thought was great. And again, because it was out of character at this time to have that not be played up for just like huge, like a huge joke.
Or like transphobic jokes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool. I really wanted to see Joanne at prom though, and I really wanted to see like Poot in a dress and Joanne in a suit. I like a very well tailored suit that like matched her gymnastics outfits. I was like, oh, if only, because that would have been really cool too.
I think my heart just skipped a beat is what happened. Like that would have been everything.
Right?
Everything.
Like if she couldn't go to prom with Haley and if like that wasn't going to work out, then I was like, oh my gosh, I at least want to see them exploring their gender expression and just like Joanne in a very boss power suit. See, I feel like she's going to be like running the gymnastics boot camp later, like in her 40s and just always in like very sparkly power suits.
She's the next Vickerman, but less creepy. Please.
And much gayer.
Yes. I need also, there's so many things we're asking of everyone, but like we need fan art of this like Poot Joanne prom situation.
Yes.
I would love to see it. Poot and Frank, I love them as friends for Haley too, because like they were trying to hint that Poot maybe had feelings for Haley. And then I feel like there was a moment where he realized like, oh, Haley's gay. And he was like, okay, pivot, everything's fine. We're best friends, and I'll date your friend. Like, he was so, very cool with it.
Healthy response, Poot. Well done.
Yeah. I feel like we didn't deal with any, like, toxic masculinity of Poot, like all those old movies where, like, the guy's like, well, I've loved you for so long. Like, why don't you love me back? I'm like, oh, my God. So I like the two of them.
You know what else I love about that, Ellie, is I think it explains a lot because Poot realizes Haley's gay, right? Makes the pivot into like, I will just be a good best friend, and then immediately latches onto Joanne. And I feel like there are dudes who have like this tendency to just like endlessly date girls right before they realize that they're gay, right? There's something there, and I feel like he's just pivoting to the next one. Poor Poot is going to have a long trail of queer women left behind him, I think.
So you think that Poot and Frank should be together?
I mean, I don't know if they should be together. I just think they'd be cute. He's so supportive. He's so, like, clearly not bothered by, like, having a bunch of gay best friends. I just feel like he'd be open to it.
My question is, Poot at some point says that Frank is gay. Is he actually gay, or is this one of those 2000s homophobic jokes?
Oh, I thought he was actually gay. I don't know. What do you think, Natasha? Is he gay?
I don't know. It was hard to say because I was like, is this a joke? But they didn't really. I think they just did things really well without like saying too much. But I don't know. It didn't feel too jokey. Like I feel like it was one of those jokes where there's truth to it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, I took a note on it. And I was like, it didn't seem like he was making fun of him. Like, it actually seemed like he was just being like, oh, this is my best friend who's gay.
They make all those, like, we're hetero life partners or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
he makes
hetero
all these...
life mates.
Yeah, like, they're so cute. And the other thing is that, again, they brought the boys in. They, like, kludge in this thing with Joanne and Poop. But I kept waiting for Frank and Mina or Frank and, like something to also be like shoved in there at the last minute. And they never went there. So I took that line as like a real, I don't know. So I thought he was being honest.
So the point is this movie is actually gay.
Well, this movie is a little bit gay. Yeah. It just, it fails us in the way all the aughts failed us, Ellie. In the way all these movies
no kiss
fail us.
between Haley and Trisha. That's how it failed us.
I mean, if there wasn't, I feel like their mom should have at least hooked up, though. Because they had some weird competition.
Yes.
And they're both, like, divorcees, aren't they? And, like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Except Haley's mom is a disaster. So.
Yes, but it would have been, like, really funny. If that, or, okay. See, I wish that, and I know that he wrote it, I guess, like, the star, Bert Vickerman, Jeff Bridges, right? Played by Jeff Bridges. Like, he wrote it, and I know he wrote it.
He wrote this?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
But I wish that like, he wasn't that creepy. I just felt like there is, I mean, now with the 2021 lens, it's like there is something a bit insidious about like a straight man who coaches a gymnastics team of women. It just is like very alarming to me. But I think it would have been really interesting if they did have like an older, like brassy lesbian who was the coach. Like I almost wanted to see Megan Kavanagh, who plays Marla Hooch in A League of Their Own, as like an old retired gymnast, and just like made it a weird comedy. And she's like the matriarch of the gymnastics team. And then like Haley's hot mess of a mom like ends up hooking up with the lesbian gymnastics coach.
Or hooking with her.
Yeah. Craft scissors. They've got a bit more of a curve to them. But yeah, I feel like that would have been it. It's like, oh, she was just a hot mess the whole time because like men treated her like garbage and she just hadn't had an orgasm in 25 years.
Yes. And then she's with, so what would it still be Vickerman? Like what's the lesbian coach's name?
I like Vickerman.
Just Vickerman, like no first name.
Yeah, no first name.
We never get to know her.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, and when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, and when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Her first name.
Okay,
Yeah.
so wait, I went down a weird rabbit hole because now I had to know. So Jeff Bridges didn't write it.
Oh, he didn't?
But
Why did I think
he
that?
didn't. But it was written by Jessica Bendinger. I don't know how you pronounce her name. But she also wrote Bring It On and First Daughter, starring Katie Holmes. So I don't know. I think there's
I'm not surprised that she wrote Bring It On, because like this definitely has Bring It On vibes.
It has Bring It On vibes, but Bring It On did the brother beard trope, right? Like, because that's what, I mean, we just talked about Ice Princess. Ice Princess trots out the brother as the love interest. Bring It On trots out the brother as the stand-in love interest. Like, there's this common thing that we see in our Should Have Been Gays, Natasha, of the brother showing up. This, Stick It does stand out, like, a lot for having absolutely no romantic storyline for the lead character, right?
Right, yeah. She directed it as well. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I thought he wrote it. I just
the patriarchy. It's worming its way in. And now I want to do like this deep dive because I realize, I haven't looked up who actually wrote a lot of the movies that we've covered, and now I'm wondering if are there secret ties?
Like, are they secret gays who are writing all these films? Is that what you mean?
That's what I want to know, right? Also, who did wardrobe? That's the most important thing.
That is the most important thing.
Look, what I want to know is who gave us the, trucker hats, the layered, the long sleeve with the t-shirt on top. Who gave us these looks? That's what I want to know.
The mall scene, that one got me.
Is that the white with the
white
jacket
tank top
over it?
with a red sports bra underneath. That's all I have to say about that. What else was super gay in this? What else did we notice? I mean, there's so much, but...
Can we talk about Haley and just her past in general? Because, like, there's a past with Joanne, right, that they talk about all the time, where they're like, oh my god, we spent so many years training together, wink, wink, and I'm like, uh-huh.
You're right.
And then the whole thing with Trisha and how she, like, tried to, you know, reach out to her. There's some histories, is what I'm saying, I guess.
I mean, you're just saying that Haley has a lot of exes. That's what we're saying?
I might be saying that. Who knows?
I can agree. I think there was definitely something weird with Joanne, but they never dated. Like, we've talked about this before. Natasha, have you ever had this? You know, like, before you came out, and you're super close friends with someone, and then you have, like, this huge falling out because really you realize, like, oh, I had submerged gay feelings for them?
Oh.
You know, that old thing?
I was lucky because I was very open about my feelings, but then they were not. So it was more, so maybe I would be like a Haley in this situation, you know? It was one of those, like, you can't say this is just a friendship, or, you know, it would be one of those things where maybe they would hook up. I remember I did have a woman say to me, like, oh, but this is what best friends do in the novels, you know? Like, I always wanted to cross this off my bucket list and, like, refused to identify as bi at all. But, yeah.
Are you serious?
I definitely had my heart broken by, like, a lot of women who are... So, I didn't have suppressed feelings. My feelings were very, very out there, but theirs were suppressed. So, yeah, I definitely
want to know what
that.
books she was reading.
Yeah,
I have
true.
Some questions.
Good point.
What novels?
Good point. And so then, like, later, I think in my early 20s, it was a lot of like, okay, well, I'm just not going to go down this road and I'm going to prevent myself from heartbreak. And now it's so funny because, like, all the women I crushed on in my early 20s that I'm still in contact with have girlfriends now in their 30s, which is really funny. I'm like, I knew it.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, it's just safer. It's safer to not if you don't know. Definitely, I think we've all gone through that phase of, like, not really knowing and then going for it and being crushed too many times that you're just like, I'll wait till I know for sure.
Yeah,
so
there was a lot of Mean Girls stuff too. I feel like a lot of girls who maybe weren't necessarily bi or bi-curious, but, like, knew that I identified as such, or maybe you did have some kind of attraction to me. Like, there was definitely that. That's why I think Joanne is a very interesting character, because there was definitely a lot of, like, you know, at high school parties being pulled in the bathroom and being like, let's gossip about things, but, like, maybe we should kiss now. And I'm like, okay. And then it, you know, not going anywhere.
Yeah, that sounds right. So Joanne is that girl who pulled Haley into the bathroom one time and then was really embarrassed about it after, like, wouldn't tell anyone. And so that's why they have such, like, this fraught relationship. She just keeps being mean to her so she won't spill her secret.
Yeah. Joanne broke Haley's heart, Joanne. I think. Yeah, maybe that's why Haley was like, fuck this, and ruined the whole competition.
I need someone to write me this fanfiction, please.
Even though we know why she ruined it, it really wasn't because of her mom. It was because of Joanne.
Oh, yeah.
Or can we work Trisha into this somehow too? Because Trisha is a big part of her walking out at World. Oh, Trisha, right? So, like, how do we rope Trisha into this story? Like, was Haley already dating Trisha? Was Trisha also, like, closeted and didn't quite know what? How do we gotta flesh this out?
I really feel like Haley and Trisha were, like, out open together, like, that they were a thing. It wasn't hidden. And they were, like, madly in love. They were really together. And obviously, when Haley left Worlds, Trisha was like, you've ruined my life. Like, I'm never talking to you again. And that was devastating for Haley. So she's, like, leaves gymnastics, leaves Trisha. And then when she sees Trisha again, it's this huge, overwhelming moment. And obviously, Trisha's like, you're my ex, and you ruined my chances at Worlds. That's my few thoughts on Trisha. I haven't thought about it that much.
I can tell. This is just off the top of your head. Yeah. Okay.
What else? What else do we think about Trisha?
There's definitely history. And I don't know, that whole scene at the end where she, like, they're doing their little, you know, like, the little team walkout. Nobody can see me pantomiming it, but it's really good. They're doing the little walkout, all of them at the competition. And Haley, like, steps out of line. to like just stand there and wait for Trisha to come by, where like I don't know why there was something about that also just felt like very queer to me, right? To be like, we're literally in the middle of something, but like we have to process our feelings right now, actually. Stop and process with me, would you? That like resonated deeply with me, I think. And so she pulls Trisha aside, and Trisha is hearing none of it. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of tension there. There was some heat, some residual heat in that moment, I think.
For sure.
Sorry, I'm not done with Trisha yet. And then, because we haven't even touched on the gymnastics competition yet, right? Which is, I think,
Are we ever going to talk about the gymnastics competition? Is that the point of this film?
We might as well, right? Like, it's another way in which I think this movie is weird for its time, right? Because the whole thing is basically just being like, stick it to the man. Girls can have like bras. I don't know.
Girls
the message was a little the message was a little fuzzy somewhere. But
well, if you want to take it as like a metaphor for like the patriarchy are the judges, right? And really, if we all just worked together and said, "Oh, you're good at that. You're good at that," we don't have to be judged by anyone. Then we can all succeed in a matriarchal world. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes, but also, you know what it was? Okay, you know in the opening episode of The Wilds, let's tie everything
Wait,
together,
Natasha,
right?
have you seen The Wilds?
Okay, so I have not yet, but it's funny you mentioned that because I, like every other asshole, started a podcast during quarantine. So my guest recently just told me that I should watch it in the most recent episode.
You have to?
I know, it's an Amazon thing for me. That's why I hadn't heard of it, but I was like, maybe this is worth like a free trial or giving like Daddy Bezos $10 and then canceling. I don't know. We'll see.
It's going to change your life. This is what I've
heard good things. Yeah. It sounded intriguing to me.
It's
okay. I'm not going to say any spoilers. There's no spoilers. I'm just going to say in the opening scenes of The Wilds, right, where Leah's kind of got that like big long monologue for the first time. And she has that one line. It's the line that she says like when we first see Fatten. It's when they first cut the clip of Fatten. But she's like, God forbid that you be like a teenage girl who is like aware of and comfortable with her own sexuality, basically. I got like very that vibes, but like the 2006 version of that message, right?
Yeah.
From the whole competition thing where they're like, oh, you're gonna dock us for like, I wear a bra? Like, well, fuck you. I'm just gonna like pull like, you know, oh, shoulders down, bra straps out. Like, this is what we have got to work with, you know? And then doing like these very deliberate, like, I don't have to perform for you according to like this tiny little like prancy version of femininity that you have decided to give us. Like, it hit that same kind of tone for me, just in like the watered down, you know, 14-year-old version of it.
It's funny you brought up the bra straps thing because, yeah, I found that moment actually quite, I mean, it was very, you know, on the nose and over the top, but I did find it quite inspiring and almost quite nostalgic as well. You know, you think back to like dress codes in middle school and high school, at least back then when spaghetti straps were, you know, taboo and bad and how women couldn't wear them, but then like guys could have their butt cracks hanging out with their baggy jeans. And it was, yeah, totally that thing of like, well, maybe you should teach the male teachers to not be like perverted pedophiles instead. Mm-hmm. But and even like Wei Wei's dance, that character at the competition as well. Like that was like I like you had a balance between, you know, Haley's very tomboy aesthetic and very like anti-feminine feminism, and then you had like Wei Wei where it was very feminine, but it was like, yeah, as you said, very sexual and just owning your sexuality.
I love Wei Wei's like, didn't you do the worm on the
oh
beam?
Yeah.
Yes, exuding sexual energy in that worm, so good. Yeah, no, I mean, I loved it. We barely talked about Wei Wei. Let's talk about Wei Wei and Mina together because like they like completely idolize Haley.
Oh God, yes. Especially Mina. Oh my God, that first time she picks up the phone for her, I was just like, I'm dead. I'm dead right now.
And I also ship Wei Wei and Mina together. Like I just like want them to date because I just think they're so cute and I love their friendship.
They did remind me of like in the way they idolized Haley. It just like reminded me of the first time a lot of my straight friends saw Ruby Rose on Orange is the New Black, and it was just very much of that like, oh, well, I'd turn for her. And you're like, what? Okay, I don't know. But
look, I am telling you, you know what that is? Especially because it's Ruby Rose in Orange is the New Black Man. It's fuckboy energy. That's what it is,
And
right?
Haley has that energy.
And
as well.
Haley has that. It's the same way that you see, like, all the women who go on TikTok these days and are like, weird how the algorithm has decided that all I want to see is, like, lesbian thirst traps. I don't know why that is. And that's what it is, right? It's like, that's where everyone kind of lands first, is the, like, fuckboy thirst traps. And then they're like, oh, maybe I'm very, very into women. They're like the gateway for so many people, and that's what Haley's doing here. She is being Mina and Weiwei's gateway into their latent homosexual feelings.
Stickit is definitely the gateway. Yes.
Also, wait, I have a lesbian rabbit hole for Mina, which is that the actress who plays Mina, whose name is Maddie Curley, and one thing that's funny is actually a lot of the actresses in the movie are either gymnasts or most of their career since doing Stickit has been as stunt people.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of stunt women in the movie. Trisha is one and Maddie Curley is another. And one of her more recent credits includes that she performed a bunch of the stunts for Sarah Connors in our other last season's Terminator Dark Fate. She was doing a lot of the stunts for Sarah Connors. So maybe that's also where she learned that, very gay swagger.
Yeah,
so
I see it. Well, before we wrap up, I have one more character that needs to be gay, which is Judge Westreich.
Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely. I forgot about that character.
I was going through the IMDb and looking at all the characters, and as I just saw her name, I remembered what happened with her in the film, and I was like, wow, that woman was gay. She was
God, and she's so like the gay judge who is like, oh, a tiny confused angry lesbian. I see you, sweetie.
Exactly.
I see you.
Exactly. She's like this older gay who's like, I'll take care of you. Like, everything's okay. But yeah.
Oh my God.
That's all I have to say about the judge. But I just want to make sure I don't leave this episode without just, giving the judge her due. I know this movie is like so gay. What have we missed?
We've missed one thing just because I think it's an important point towards our Haley's very clearly queer-coded in this movie, is that there is one point where she's having a conversation with Joanne when Joanne is asking if she's dating Poot or Frank at all, right? And she's like, no. And then Joanne says, why not? And Haley just goes, ew.
Yeah.
And I know that they're playing it up as oh, they're her friends and she doesn't see them that way. But you will never convince me that is not just Haley's reaction to the idea of dating a boy, okay?
True.
That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. No, I totally took it that way as well. And yeah.
She gay.
Yes.
Okay, that's my only outstanding point that I had to mention.
Honestly, a
And I
valid
feel like
point.
that's totally why she has issues with her mom too, as well. I mean, I feel like some of the tension there is not just about the gymnastics and stage mothery type stuff, but I feel like also poor Haley probably had a really hard time coming out to her mom.
Yeah. Do you think she did come out to her mom and she wasn't supportive, or she feels uncomfortable to come out?
Ooh, maybe she did come out and wasn't supportive, because remember there's that scene where she's like, you need lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And she's still, maybe her mom is still in denial about her sexuality. And then, she's just trying to convert her a little bit. And I still can't decide how I feel about the gymnastics coach as well. Because on one hand, I'm like, okay, he sees her and is just cool with it and gets really stoked when she does the rock on sign and does her own thing at the end in the competition. So he's very supportive of her queerness, but I'm also like, are you a creep? I don't know. Because do you remember when he
it's
also
hard
just
to read.
left her to walk home at night in a rural area by herself?
Yes.
Who does that?
The most responsible adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's 50-50. Yeah. It's very confusing whether or not we like him or not, but I think that's the point. He's definitely not a hero of the film.
No, he's morally ambiguous, I think, as a outcome, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel so much better knowing that he didn't write it as well. I don't know why I thought that. Apparently I forgot how to read in these foreign times. I just saw J-E, but I feel very good about it being written by a woman and directed by a woman as well. Especially with the ice bath scene.
Yeah, the ice bath
Especially
scene.
with a lot of the very gratuitous butt shots as well. I was watching it not knowing it was directed by a woman, and I was like, I don't feel great about this. I feel better now. That it's
Plus,
not.
I guess it makes sense because I think if he had written it, probably his character would come out as the hero, right?
Yeah.
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 And
That
we
does
don't
make
need
sense.
that.
Nobody needs that.
No. All right. So who are we shipping? We've talked about it, but let's like really get down to the nitty gritty of who we're shipping. And let's all pick our top ship because there's a lot. So I'll pick one.
Okay.
I'm going to go Haley and Trisha, and their ship name is Traley. That's it.
I love it.
Yep.
What about you, Natasha? Who do you pick?
You know what? I'm going to go with Joanne and Poot, but they're both pansexual. And they both like to they're both switches. And later in life, in college, they get into some fun, kinky stuff together.
They're gender fluid.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's their ship name?
Oh my God. I don't even, well, I mean, Poot is just such a good name that you can't, like Jute, that doesn't do it.
No.
That doesn't. Poan. No.
Pooan. Wow.
Pooan.
Pooan.
I'm into Pooan. It's so bad, it's just right, you know?
Fun fact, Vanessa Lenges, I hope I'm saying her name right because I've met her before, but she has a web series that's on the same channel Carmilla played on that came out a couple years ago, and it's all about exploring sexuality and exploring gender fluidity, and she actually does drag in one of the episodes and comes to terms with the fact that she might feel gender fluid. So it's
That's incredible.
Yeah.
She played someone on Glee, right? She was what's her name? Sugar?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I did not know that.
What's the name of that web series?
Yeah, it's called The S Word. So it's just an exploration of her own sexuality and gender identity.
That's so cool. I'll have to check it out. Look, see, lesbian rabbit holes. We love
I know,
them.
that's one of the best rabbit holes we've seen.
Right?
What's your ship, Lee?
Okay, my ship then, I guess I will have to do nothing too exciting, but I'm going to say I got to go with Haley and Joanne. Near and dear to my heart. I think it's going to take Joanne a little bit to get there, you know?
Yeah.
They got a little past to work through that they'll have to sit down and process together, I think. And God help me, I have no idea what their ship name should be, but I'm going to say Jaylee because Haley didn't go to juvie, so there you go.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hoan.
Hoan.
Oh, wow.
Hoan and Pooan. We've got some really good ones this week.
They're
Is what
real,
we're going with.
I'm actually mad that Haley didn't call her Hoan at any point, like as an insult now. That's amazing.
It's so good. Yeah. Do we have any other honorable mentions for ships?
I gotta throw Frank and Poot in there.
Yeah.
Fruit?
Oh no, fruit.
It's right there. I'm sorry. It's just right there. It really is.
Oh, now I feel bad, but also I love it.
Well, what's the other option, really?
Prank.
Yeah. And Wei Wei and Mina, too, I love. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all of these are so bad. I'm like,
No, what did you come up with?
I was going to say Weena.
Weena. Yeah, okay,
They're all
great.
just bad.
Wow, this movie really hates shippers is what I am getting the gist
And I don't
of
know
here.
their last names.
Any of them had last names, did they? Well, Haley's has Grant.
Haley
That's about
Grant,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of the rest of them.
I think we all know. We've discussed thoroughly. There's all kinds of gay stuff. I'm sure plenty of people are going to message us and say, hey, you forgot this gay thing. Send it to us. We still want to hear all your gay stuff. But
The important takeaway is stick it.
Should have been gay.
Should have been gay.
It's time for our Q and gay. Are you ready, Natasha?
Uh-oh. Sure. Okay.
Q and gay.
So question number 1. Which gymnastics event would you stick? Uneven bars, balance beam, floor, or vault?
I'm going to go with vault.
Nice. Why do you say
A
that?
good choice.
I have no upper arm strength, really. And I'm very small. I'm very small. So I feel like I would fly.
Nice.
You could always just go and do a Badahara. I think anybody can dream of doing that, right?
Yes.
I do it every day on my mat.
I'm going to start calling it that when I just like flop on the couch. I'm going to be like, Badahara.
Yes.
Stuck the landing.
You stuck it.
Okay, question 2. Which Haley outfit is the gayest out of the following choices? A, the trucker hat, B, the biking hoodie, C, the gymnastics leotard, or D, the white tank and sports bra?
I gotta go with hoodie.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
They started strong, just telling us who she was.
Right out of the gate.
First scene.
Right out of the gate?
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, yes.
No, do not.
Stuck it.
Never
Stuck that
apologize.
landing too.
All right, question number 3. Which character from Stick It would you want to date? A, Haley, B, Joanne, C, Wei Wei, or D, Poot?
Oh, I mean, Haley for aesthetic reasons. But I feel like personality-wise, it'd be too spicy. I feel like we'd fight a lot.
But for aesthetics, you have to go for it.
I know. It's the ice bath scene. It's terrible.
It is.
But I think...
you did also already describe Joanne as a femdom, so would you fight with her as well?
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. Realistically, Wei Wei, I think, and I would have,
nice.
a nice time.
I feel like Wei Wei would make a great girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, question 4. Would you rather go to Juvie or VGA?
Probably Juvie. Because then I'd have like opportunities to start a side hustle. I'd get a lot of reading done.
You might meet Ruby Rose. You never know.
Oh, God. No, thank you. But yeah.
Yes.
I feel like only because, and I know that this is a stereotype, and I'm very sorry to anyone who does do gymnastics, because I have the utmost respect for dancers and gymnasts. They are incredible. I did a bar class once and I couldn't walk for 3 days. They're beasts and amazing athletes. But I think as someone who went to music theater school and was very scared of the dancer girls, and they were very mean, and like a lot of them also did gymnastics, I would be afraid.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid to go. I'm also terrified to do a somersault. Like I'm scared. I can't even do a somersault.
Just the gravity of it.
Look, no
It's
pressure
scary.
or anything, but my 18-month-old does a killer somersault, and I bet she could teach you. She's crushing them right now. She's fearless.
I can't remember the time I got scared of them, though, because like as a kid, I used to do like handstands and cartwheels and somersaults in my backyard all the time. And then I was like, at what point did I become afraid of them? Like there was and I don't remember the shift, but it just eventually shifted into like, no, thank you. I'm going to do like snowboarding and softball, as if like those things aren't scary. But yeah, no, I was like,
I think
feet
there's
on
a
the
certain
ground.
point where you realize that like you don't want to get hurt. The older you get, the more you're like,
Look.
it processes in your brain, I could get hurt. I feel like before then you're
Here's-
like, I'll never get hurt. All right. So question number 5. Is Stick It your route? A, yes. B, definitely yes. Or C, no.
no, I'm sorry. It wasn't.
It's okay.
It started very early. So early. It was like Hillary Duff and Casper meets Wendy.
Oh my God. Honestly, that's a fantastic route.
Oh, that is what I have to say. That I
Haven't
don't
heard,
know
yeah,
that I've
haven't
heard
heard
someone
before.
say before. That's incredible. That's also like very specific and immediately came to mind. So I totally believe you.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, and realistically, Bring It On was my route, as we're talking about Stick It. The locker room scene, that was it for me. It was
If we're
over.
gonna try to dissect what our real route is in media, I'm pretty sure mine is 100% gonna have to be Renee O'Connor as Gabrielle in Xena. Especially when she got the short haircut. It's just,
Yeah.
you know. I didn't know it at the time. It's a hindsight thing, but a lot of feelings.
Also-
A lot of feelings.
Bart Simpson's babysitter. Yes, a cartoon.
Oh.
Laura, I think that was her name, or Lauren. There was only one episode. Yeah. I'm
it.
always really bad at these questions, though, because I have like the very, very privileged experience of growing up in a liberal city with like an artist mom and liberal parents. And so I think my like route would have been like, a friend on my softball team at like 9 years old kind of thing.
Oh my God. Honestly,
like-
so jealous of that.
Yeah, and like having parents who had like queer friends and stuff, I feel like I didn't have that. Like, I'm always very disappointing in these answers that I didn't have that like one media thing. Although I do remember also like, as problematic as it was, the first L word as well, especially, and flicking through channels late at night and then being like, what is this?
Yep. I know. I feel
What
like
have I found?
we all
The
have
promised
that,
land.
like, watching the L Word in the dark memory. Like, just, like, sitting alone.
Yeah, I definitely remember like re-watching all of it on DVD, probably 4 times over, and then like immediately breaking up with my boyfriend when I was like 19. Yeah.
Just Googling like the Sarah Shahi dancing scene and being like, this is fine. It's what, 10 p.m.? It's fine. This is okay. This is normal.
My girlfriend, she said she went to see Black Swan with her ex-boyfriend, and after seeing it, she broke up with him too. I'm like, oh my God, that's not so gay. It's ridiculous. But yeah, sounds right. Well, on that note, thank you, Natasha, so much for coming and hanging out with us. Where can people find you on social media, number one? You also have a new podcast, so tell our listeners more about it.
Oh, wow. Well, if people want to find me on social media, I'm at Nat Vanlis on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, then I just started a podcast because I was bored and lonely, as the people do. It's called Vanlis Presents, the podcast nobody asked for. It's just real talk with me and my more interesting, more intelligent, more attractive, smart friends. Yeah. And we just have some like chit chats. And I think it's been interesting to just highlight different people from different parts of the world. And I hope people like it. And if they don't, that's fine. I don't care. Gives me something to do.
I know. I do feel like a lot of people have been starting podcasts, like, of course, because we have nothing to do, but also like, I think it's good therapy in a way. Like, yeah. Here, like, I mean, Lee and I have been doing this for a long time, but it's like every Wednesday night when we record, even if I'm having a rough day, it's like, well, here I have a person that is here to talk to me every week and we can sit down and have fun for an hour. And it's a bit therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, it forces me to have a schedule and be social and like reach out to people.
Yeah, yes. Have some organized social interaction that is also a side hustle.
Well, we always support more podcasts, especially podcasts hosted by queer folks. So we're all for it.
Yeah,
yes.
It is unintentionally becoming a queer podcast, even though that's not the premise. But I was like, it is Natasha and friends, and those are my friends. So the first 4 episodes are queer guests.
Yeah, but it's going to be a variety of guests. So, like, I mean, obviously, most of the people in our audience are also queer, but it's for everyone. Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do want to eventually talk to some people outside of the entertainment industry as well, and if not queer, my friends are at least allies as well. So It'll be really nice to, just to feature some interesting conversations. Some are funny, some are serious, some are sad. So that's sort of the whole premise.
That's
very
awesome.
Cool.
Well,
Vanlis Presents. Anywhere you can find podcasts, I assume.
Yeah, Apple and Spotify as I figure this thing out.
Perfect.
Amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been a blast.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community. So we just like to shout out some of our favorite things every episode. And this week we wanted to shout out a new listener, Lexi, who had tweeted at us about, looking for like femme queer community and was so excited that she had found the podcast and was also looking for other suggestions. So A, we love it. B, if we have other femme listeners who have suggestions, definitely tweet them at us because we always love having more things to share and suggest to people. So that just made us happy. Ellie, you always love some good femme representation.
I love some femme rep, baby. Also, speaking of Lexi reached out also to say that she was coming to trivia. And so trivia is always a great place for you to find community. We want to give a shout out to all of our trivia goers. We are really excited to keep hitting trivia in full force this year. We have seen so many of the same people over and over and over and over, and it makes us so happy to see you there every time. We feel like you're our friends. We hope that you think that we're your friends too, but we just wanted to shout you out.
And as always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Danny Griswold,
Jacqueline Rose Nishino,
Sarah and Julia,
Carrie Ann Lawrence,
Danny Gunluck Tamora,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
and Tara Gleason.
And our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Henley,
Liz Chen,
and Wendy K. Bartlett. Thank you all so much. You make this podcast possible.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
Whatever app you use to listen to podcasts, make sure that you subscribe. That way you'll get new episodes as soon as they go up.
We also have some videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
And don't forget, we already have the RSS feed set up for our musical that's going to be coming out this summer. So if you want to look up The Flame, you can check out our first teaser. We have one of our songs up, and you can also subscribe. That way you will not forget as soon as episodes start releasing in June.
I'm so excited! Subscribe. If you want to support this podcast, Let's Hang Out, you can do so by rating and reviewing us on iTunes. We love hearing what you have to say, and it helps new people find the show.
If you want to support us financially, we have a Patreon. We have all sorts of fun perks. You can hang out in our Discord chat. We have game nights. We have viewing parties. It's just a lot of fun. You can find that at bit.ly/lespatreon.
Yes, we just had our last viewing party for Teenage Bounty Hunters. It was a blast. If you want to get some Les Hangout merch, you can do that at bit.ly/lesshop. If you want to show your gay pride all year round, we have all kinds of t-shirts that basically tell people who you are on the inside and the outside. You can get those at bit.ly/lesshop.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Buffet brawlers, glory holes gone wrong, cannibalistic castration cabins, public poopers? These are just a few of the crazy topics you'll hear covered on Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the pettiest podcast around. Whether you need a break from all that murdery true crime stuff, or just enjoy hearing hilarious stories told in a unique way, I got what you need. I'm Leroy Luna, your fearless host/chauffeur. So come hop in my minivan and let's go for a ride. I promise you probably won't be disappointed. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically everywhere you consume podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of the month, baby!